Hi folks, Marina Stroud here. I am your product education lead. Thanks for joining us today and letting us be a part of your educational journey. Please take some time to review our previously recorded Bootcamp webinars found within your help menu. They are organized into beginner and intermediate lessons. Kristen Magents, your product education specialist, will typically host the beginner level boot camps every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I host the intermediate lessons every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern unless otherwise directed. Our webinars are intended to educate members across all TradeSmith products, so we want to educate our newbies and those of you that have been with us for some time. I am including a webinar script. You should be getting that also in an email tomorrow afternoon. Attending live will provide you with a more interactive one-on-one platform where we aim to answer your questions on the spot. If we're unable to answer your questions, we'll certainly follow back up with you. We also have a live Q&A at the end of the presentation. All right, so let's go ahead and check out today's topics. Today, I will show you how to customize your program settings so that you can set it and forget it. Aside from setting up your accounts in TradeSmith Finance, adjusting your program settings is almost as important. The TradeSmith system alerts allow you to track your positions globally across your portfolios, baskets, newsletters, and the Billionaires Club if you have access to it. I'm going to show you how to set up your system alerts and the automatic alerts for stocks and options. TradeSmith will also let you know if one of your closed positions triggers a new health indicator entry signal so that you can jump back into any previously closed positions. That's if you're following the health indicator, but we'll talk more about that. If you want TradeSmith to update your cost basis on synchronized positions, your position setting feature must be enabled. There's also several notification settings that, when enabled, will prompt you when your newsletters or the Billionaires Club add a new position, or if any of your securities qualify for a TradeSmith strategy. All right, before we get started, let's get that disclaimer out of the way, folks. The information we present today and in upcoming tutorials is only for educational purposes. We are not financial advisors and cannot provide individualized advice or recommendations. We are recording today's presentation, so if you miss something, don't worry about it. You'll be able to go back and watch it at your convenience. All right, let's head straight to the website. One moment, please. All right, here we are. I am on my TradeSmith Finance account. Remember, you're going to log into your account via finance.tradesmith.com, no matter which product subscription you hold. Just keep in mind that I have access to the full suite of TradeSmith products with a platinum subscription, so your site may look different than mine. All right, so while we're here, let's just peruse through the help menu briefly. If you click that green help menu button, you can access your educational resources, which will be tailored according to your subscription. There at the top, you'll find our customer success team number. You can click to expand that. And there at the top, there's a link to schedule a concierge appointment. That's a one-on-one phone appointment, 30 minutes with an agent to kind of walk you through the program or maybe answer some questions that you may have. If you scroll down, you can access, there's a link to our education center, and then the bootcamp videos and other tutorials are here. We can click to expand the folder. There at the top, if we've got a new upcoming bootcamp, we'll post the registration links there. We also try to email you ahead of time as well with those registration links. All right, please refer to the script for additional information regarding the help menu and other educational content. You will be receiving the script tomorrow along with the webinar video link in your email. All right. So if I can ask everyone to switch to the Q&A, I'm not going to be able to monitor both the chat and the Q&A at the same time. Keep in mind that I am by myself. Oh, you don't see my screen? 1 second here. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's make sure that you can see my screen. Thank you so much, Miran. Share. All right, can everyone see my screen now? Daniel, can you see my screen? Give me a Y for yes or yes. Yep. Got the thumbs up. Woohoo! I love those little emojis. Sorry about that, folks. Still learning, feeling out this Zoom thing. All right, so I'm going to close chat and then we'll switch to the Q&A. Appreciate it, folks. All right. Let me just quickly point out the help menu since you probably all missed that whole section there. There's the green help menu. You can click it to access your educational resources. There at the top is the customer success team number. Again, you can click any of these folders to expand. Here's our boot camps organized into beginner and intermediate lessons. If we've got a upcoming boot camp ready for you, we'll post the registration links there. Okay, let's go to your program settings now. So to access your program settings, click on your name drop-down menu at the top right of your site and select settings. Easy enough so far, right? Now, you're going to see a menu on the far left. We're going to go down the list with each menu item, starting with your contact information. So within this page, you can manage your password and update your contact information. Let me grab my little spotlight tool. Hopefully you can see that a little bit better. But there's manage password if you wanted to change your password. So once you hit that manage password, we're not going to go through the whole thing together. All of the steps are in the script. But you would enter your email address here. That's the email address associated with your TradeSmith account. Okay, it's got to be the same email. And then you'll hit that submit button below. Then you'll go to your inbox and you'll locate the email that will then prompt you to the steps of adjusting or changing your password. So nothing too crazy as far as the requirements for the password. It just has to be between 6 to 12 characters long. All right, let's hop back to the site. So that's the manage password link. Nothing much to that. Next up is subscriptions. So under the subscriptions tab, and yours is going to look different, right? Here, if you're a TradeSmith Platinum member, it just says TradeSmith Platinum. It doesn't list all of the products or the software or research products that you have access to. If you're not a TradeSmith Platinum member, it should list each of your all of the products that you have access to. So you can see your subscriptions. A lot of folks, it's hard to keep up with all of the products that that we have. So it's nice to have this feature. At least kind of helps you keep track of what it is that you have. Then we have our billing information below, so you can update the credit card that is associated with your account here. So you click that link and it takes you to a customer payment portal site, I think. There it goes. So it gives your account information. It'll also let you know if there's any invoices to be paid. And here you can add a new payment method. Of course, if you have any issues, it may be best just to give our customer success team a call. No need to get frustrated over that. All right. Any questions so far? Nothing too complicated so far, right? Next up is notification. So under notification, you can add up to 3 emails. So let me point that out. That's right there. You can also set up text message notifications, and you can adjust your system and newsletter notifications. All right, get rid of that little guy. So under the email notifications, if you have a spouse or a partner, it might be a good idea to include both emails to receive your notifications. It's also a good idea to include at least one additional email address, if you have one, if you can't receive notifications via your primary email. You can also send yourself a test. So if you click that little test button, it'll message successfully sent to your email, and then you can hit OK. That way you can ensure that you're getting your alert notifications. Super important there. As I mentioned, you can also set up the text message notifications. You would click this add another phone number, right? If you want to receive text message notifications, you would select your phone provider. Never heard of Shaw Mobile. Okay, that's different. If you have a mobile provider that is not listed, don't worry, just hit that other link there and then enter your 10-digit phone number. Unfortunately, we're not able to support any foreign cell phone providers. So my friend from Canada, I'm not sure if your mobile provider is listed here. But don't worry about that, because I think there's a better way than this text message setup here. I actually recommend that you download the TradeSmith app from Google Play or the App Store. So if you have not done that and would like to know how to do this, you can go to your help menu there at the top right, and then under the customer success team drop down, I've included links here for the TradeSmith mobile app for Apple and Android. So feel free to check that out. The links are also included in today's webinar script. All right. Any questions so far? I assume you can all see my screen now. Yes. Oh, okay, very good. Let me scroll down here and catch up with the questions here. Hello, Mario. I see your name. Very good. Thanks for joining us today. Jenny says, does it tell you when your subscriptions ends or renews? So on the subscriptions, that's a really good question. It should. So mine says expiration date unlimited, but it should tell you. Can anyone confirm, someone who's not a platinum, and let me know if it gives a certain sort of expiration date or subscription end date or renewal information? That's a great question, Jenny. Maybe someone here who is not platinum can answer that for us. Gordon, you use Xfinity for mobile home and that's not an option. No worries. So let's go back here. When you click on the link here to set it up, try with this other link right here and see if that works for you. And if it doesn't, you know, set up the push notifications through your mobile app. Patrick says if you add the second email, you'll get your alerts and notifications twice. Yes, that is true, Patrick. That is very true. You know, it's a safety net in case you miss the notification or if you're having some issues with your email provider. But that is correct. All right, so it does give the expiration date. Okay, very good. Thanks for confirming that, folks. The expiration date is shown. Okay. Even Margaret says, even with platinum, it tells you when your yearly is due. Oh, it does? Well, okay. Yes, it may. I don't have to. That's part of the perks of being an employee. James, you need to delete your primary email. How do you do that? Well, unfortunately, you can't do it here. I would call customer success team and let them know that you want to switch your primary email, because that has to go through the billing system. So we're using Salesforce, and your email is linked in that account. So you would have to contact our customer success team and tell them that you'd like to switch your primary email. All right. You're very welcome. Okay, so let's move on along here. We have our notification availability. You can use this little slider bar, from and to adjust your time range to receive your alerts. If you value your beauty sleep like I do, you want to adjust it to the appropriate time. You can set up your time zones right here at the top. All right. Please remember that some time ranges may result in you receiving alerts the following day. So, for example, our alerts are based on the latest closed prices. We update the latest closed prices on the site between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern. So you won't get triggered alerts if you adjust your time range to stop notifications at 6 p.m. Eastern, or its equivalent in another time zone. Okay, so just keep that on the back burner there. Jim, I see you loud and clear here. You are a participant with us today. Thank you. How should international contact the sales team? We do not want to pay high international phone charges. I would just shoot them an email. If you would like, I can, let me see. I don't have a telesales email direct, but you can just contact our support at tradesmith.com and let them know what you'd like to do. And they should be able to forward that to a sales team member. Miran, if we have time, can we please review the TradeSmith Business Quality Score functionality? We can. Just remind me at the end. So you notice that they changed the name from the quality factors to business quality score, which seems to make more kind of logical sense in the name. All right. Okay, moving right along, let's check out your system notifications right here. So you can enable a system notifications for all your investments right here and your watch only portfolios. Now, this is an all or nothing setup, folks. That means that you can't pick and choose which of your investment and watch only portfolios are assigned any of these listed system notifications. Now, when I say watch only, these are the manual portfolios that you're creating within TradeSmith Finance. So you can hover over each of these little eye bubbles. It tells you what it is. This is a daily notification email letting you know of all corporate actions for the given portfolios. We have risk changes. So if you want to stay up to date on VQ changes, you can click that as well. Just keep in mind that you're not going to see much of a change. The VQ changes should be very incremental. Now, one thing I want to go back here to the corporate actions here. We like this email, right? Because we notify you regarding dividend notices on the X dividend date. Now, we're going to touch upon this because this is a touchy subject for some of you folks. The email notification will indicate the X date, the dividend amount, and the dividend payment date. The X dividend date is the date when the dividend is announced. So all shareholders as of that date will receive the dividend. So an investor that buys the stock on its X date or later will not be eligible to receive the declared dividend. Instead, the dividend payment goes to whomever owns the stock the day before the X date. So please remember that our X dividend notice goes out on the X dividend date. And this notice is excellent if you currently own the stock because it lets you know that the dividend is coming. However, it only helps you if you own the stock, but there might be a little bit of a workaround, okay? Let me show you something. I'm going to duplicate this tab just so we don't lose it. Give me 1 second, move some of these menus out of the way. Duplicate, and I'm going to show you the market calendar. So we're going to jump to calendar and then market calendar. We get a lot of emails, you know, about the ex-dividend date, and I know it's too late, but here's something that you can look at. So I'm going to go to my filters here on the right, and then you can select any portfolio, okay? Maybe you're looking at a watch list of potential trades, baskets, newsletters, or billionaires. Okay, so let's say we don't own the stock yet, and we're looking at some watch lists or whatnot, right? You select whatever portfolio that you want to check out, and here under events, you can isolate it to dividends, right? Just set dividends, and then you can review this calendar. So we can go weekly or we can go monthly here at the top. And then we have more of a bird's eye view of dividends that are coming down the pipe, right? So that we can participate if we want to, if we know ahead of time, right? So that information is here. So I just wanted to show you a little workaround. Again, to access the calendar, you're going to go to calendar at the top navigational header. We'll go to market calendar. And I like to go out monthly. That way it gives you a little bit more of a perspective. You can select any watch list, basket, newsletter, or billionaires portfolio that you're tracking. In this case, you know, we presume these are stocks we don't own, but maybe we want to jump in, especially if we know it's a dividend coming out. And then you can isolate it to the specific event for dividends and then review your calendar. You can even scroll through the calendar ahead of time. So that's kind of a nice feature and a workaround regarding the ex-dividend notifications. All right. Any questions on the market calendar? We'll hop back here to our primary tab and continue our discussion. So we are on risk changes. We covered that. Sync error notifications. This one's important. I would make sure you check that if you have synchronized portfolios. If your brokerage account has stopped refreshing, meaning we're not getting the data from your brokerage account, and this is enabled, we'll send you a weekly notification and giving you some instructions on what you can do to resolve your account. At the very bottom of the page, you're going to see some additional notifications. These are all separate from the alerts that you are assigning to your individual positions, and they're separate from the system alerts. So first up is strategies. It's a daily notification email that will let you know if your investment or watch-only positions have recently qualified for a TradeSmith strategy. So the TradeSmith strategies, they apply to products with investment strategies such as Ideas by TradeSmith, Trade 360, Crypto Ideas by TradeSmith, and Timing by TradeSmith. With newsletters, this is a daily notification email that will let you know when new recommendations have been added to your portfolio. It will not let you know when a newsletter closes or removes a position. However, you can review your open and closed positions from your newsletters tab within the My Gurus page. So let me hop back to that secondary tab that we opened. I can go to My Gurus at the top navigational header. I'll make sure I'm under newsletters. And let me see here. I don't know if I can open up one of these. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can open up a newsletter because it's part of a paid subscription. I don't want to get my hand slapped there. But either way, it works the same. So you open up your newsletter, and there at the top, you can view closed and open positions. All right. And that's the same here for the Billionaires Club. All right. So let's continue and make sure that you hit that save button. It's grayed out right now because we haven't made any adjustments, right? But see, if I make any changes, it's not letting me save it now. That's weird. If you make any changes, make sure you hit that save button. Interesting. Okay, let's continue on. So we have positions next. And with positions here, you can set up specific parameters for your positions. We're going to review each starting here at the top with that default currency. The default currency allows you to select the currency for your portfolio's total value, the gains and losses, and the cash. Now, we may not automatically adjust this based on your home country, so please check your default currency if you live outside the US. My friend in Canada, you may want to adjust this to Canadian dollars. Check it out because I don't think we automatically adjust it for you. All right. Nick, if you don't see the strategies option, so let me hop back here to notifications. Here at the bottom, that means that you most likely don't have a subscription to any of the products that have strategies. So that's like Ideas by TradeSmith, Crypto Ideas, any of those products that have the labs. So another trick here, Nick, when you're on your site, if you come to invest and you don't see opportunities, this is part of our, these are the investment strategies. And as soon as that loads, you'll see there's strategies actually for now money movers, Ideas Lab, crypto, and timing. So you have to have these products to be able to receive that notification. Great question. John is asking, under events, how do I select all investment portfolios? So I believe you can only select one at a time. Let's go back here real quick. Calendar, filters. Where's my filters button? I got all these tools up here that you can't see that I have to navigate through here. 1 second. So it just allows you to select one. I can't select multiple. That might be a really good, that's a really good feature request, John. If you want to send in a ticket, subject line feature request to support at tradesmith.com, that might be something that we could update here on the site. David, yes, the Billionaires Club is included with a platinum subscription. So if you're a platinum member, you should have access to the Billionaires Club. Let me know if you don't and if we need to investigate your account there. All right, hopping back to positions here. Next up is commissions. You can apply an entry and exit commission to any future portfolios added. I'm going to say this again. Don't come in here and adjust your entry and exit commissions and think it's going to adjust all of your portfolios. So it's only going to adjust any future portfolios that you add. So if you want the entry commissions applied to existing portfolios, you must update this information for each position. The same thing goes with your exit commissions on your closed positions. You're going to have to update each position individually. All right. If you want to track closed positions and re-enter a security after it triggers a new health indicator entry signal, make sure re-entry for synchronized portfolio is enabled to yes. TradeSmith will add positions that you close at your broker to the re-entry portfolio, allowing you to track your closed positions. Now, while we're on this subject, it's going to add any position you close, regardless of its health state. If you decide for whatever reason that you're going to close a position that's in the green zone, it's going to add it to the reentry watch list. So that may not make that much sense, right? So periodically go into that reentry watch list portfolio and clean it up. So if there's any position you know that you're not going to re-enter, or, it's not in the red zone, that's what it's intended for, right? It's intended to add positions that you close that are in the red zone if you're following the health indicator as your exit strategy. And then it'll let you know when it goes back into the green zone, right? That's its whole purpose. Below, you can decide if you want to transfer tags and notes to your closed positions. Having this feature enabled by itself, right here, this re-entry for synchronized portfolio, will not alert you when a new health indicator entry signal triggers. So we're talking red to green, but it will create the portfolio. So we're going to tackle the entry signal system alert that must be enabled for this feature. We'll get to that when we get to alerts. So this re-entry for synchronized portfolio feature, if it's enabled yes, you're telling TradeSmith, okay, whenever I close any position, throw it into this re-entry watch list portfolio for me. That way I can track it. And then when we go to the system alerts, when we enable the entry signal alert for your watch list, then you'll get a notification when any closed position, theoretically, they're in the red zone, goes into the green zone, right? Triggers a new green light. Any questions on that? I know that's going to be a little confusing if you're not used to this feature. Do closed positions only apply to brokerage portfolio? In this case, yes. So for this feature, yes. But that does not mean that you cannot partake in this feature. So let me hop to the secondary tab, and I'm just going to go to my portfolios at the top navigational header. I'll open up my test investment portfolio. And let's say that I want to close my Tesla position. All right, I'm tracking this manually. So if you're tracking your portfolios manually, you can do this. You would close the position at your broker, then you'd come back to your TradeSmith account and make those adjustments here. So I can hit close position. Keep in mind, I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to close it, because if you delete it, then there's no history of that transaction, right? You want a history of your open and closed positions. So I'm going to hit close position. Then I can enter whatever date I close the position, the price, the quantity. So here it defaults to close all of the shares. So keep that in mind. Any exit commission. And then here you'll see add Tesla to your reentry watch list. That is enabled by default to yes. So you can also participate in that feature. And then you can hit close position. All right, let me hop back here to our settings. Next up is fractional shares. So if the position is sold, the principal shares purchased through the DRIP or the dividend reinvestment plan will be closed automatically in your synchronized portfolio. If you have fractional shares and exit a position at your broker, the broker may not close, they may only close whole shares. So they may leave you with some fractional shares. If this feature is enabled to yes, those remaining fractional shares will be moved to your closed position tab. That's up to you. Please remember that some brokers only allow you to sell whole shares, and a fractional amount may be left over. The close fractional shares feature will close the fractional shares. However, your broker may still have them open. So contact your broker to find out how they handle fractional shares. Next up, this is a super important feature right here. If you want to maintain your cost basis, make sure that's yes. Now, of course, this is only going to work if we can obtain the cost basis from your broker. If you track your accounts manually, then you must update your cost basis with the average prices paid for your position. Your broker should have this updated cost basis for you, so you should be able to just copy that information. The next feature, apply rates for entry prices during sync process, applies to foreign or U.S. investors trading foreign stocks. If this applies to you, make sure that this is toggled to yes. So it's going to ensure that you have the correct currency for your entry prices. And then below, you'll see our available exchanges. TradeSmith supports all U.S. markets, Canadian, United Kingdom, German, and Australian exchanges as well. But we do have limited support for mutual funds and options for foreign markets. If you're a foreign investor and you'd like to inquire about a particular security, you can give our customer success team a call or shoot us an email. In some cases, we can actually add it to our database. So if you see a stock that's not there, you can inquire and see if we can add it. All right. So we're almost to the finish line. How's everyone doing? Do we need to take a minute to stretch our legs and stand up? Shake out the cobwebs? Next up is alerts. Okay. I would say alerts, positions with the cost basis, the re-entry, and some of these notification features are probably the most important. But here we are on the alerts menu. The alert setting page is one of the essential features that you need to know. Here you can set up automatic alerts. We can even look at our system alerts, which we will tackle here in just a minute. Let's start with the automatic alert creation. TradeSmith can automatically create alerts on new positions detected by your brokerage account, and you can apply this to stocks and to your option positions. It would be best if you decided what your primary exit strategy is ahead of time, right? Before you enter a trade. If using the health indicator as your exit and entry strategy, you would most likely disable this feature unless you want to look at two different exit parameters. So for example, maybe I put here, I don't have a 10% on here. I have a 10 and a 20 template. Let's go with 15. Okay. You may enable a 10% or 15% trailing stop for all your positions along with the health indicator. You're going to be notified if the stock drops 15% from the highest high close price since your entry price, and you'll also have the health indicator. I have some members that like to have kind of like this safety net, or in case you have a stock that maybe has a higher VQ or risk, maybe you set up like a halfway point, half of its VQ, or wherever you feel comfortable. A lot of folks like 10%. But you have that option, so you can have that flexibility to adjust those alerts. All right, let me just check out the Q&A. Les, can you go over and update entry price with latest cost basis again, please? Didn't quite understand. Sure. So let me hop back here. One moment. All right. So we're talking about the entry price here. So if you want us to pull in the same or update your cost basis from your broker, so as you add new holdings or new shares to your holdings, right, your cost basis will be updated. So keep that to yes. This is for synchronized. If you're manual, then you're going to have to update the cost basis manually on your position. So we're not going to update that for you. So for example, if you're tracking manually and you add additional shares to a position, we're not changing your entry price. or your cost basis. We will adjust, if you're manual, we don't have that information, right? We're not linked to your broker. So you would have to manually adjust your shares and the average prices paid for that position over time. The apply exchange rates is for anyone that's trading foreign stock. So if a foreign broker shows a cost basis of US stocks in their local currency, we'll convert the entry prices to US dollars. If a US broker shows the cost basis of a foreign stock in US dollars, we'll convert it to the default currency for that foreign exchange. I hope that helps, Les. Jim says, I have 3 IRA accounts that are separately managed. How do I set up a portfolio so I can watch them? You should be able to import them. Are you saying that you have a financial advisor? You should still be able to import them and then track them. And then you can kind of spy on your financial advisor, see what he's doing. Jim, remind me towards the end. We can walk through it now. When we get to the Q&A, we'll walk through that process. All right, let me hop back here to alerts. We're almost there, folks. We've got the automatic alert creation. The next feature, is a topic of many questions. The adjust for dividends and spinoffs. By default, you're going to see that it's set to yes. TradeSmith will adjust your entry and highest close prices for dividends and other corporate actions since your entry date. Because a dividend is treated as a return on equity, the markets adjust for this distribution. So we must adjust the entry and historical high prices to maintain your preferred trailing stop percentage. Every price point that you see on a TradeSmith chart is based on adjusted close prices. So what's the difference between adjusted and unadjusted close prices? Well, unadjusted prices are the price quotes exactly as quoted on any given day in the market. Adjusted historical prices reflect the impact of corporate actions like dividends and splits on past historical price quotes. So we use a adjustment factor or multiplier. Dividend multipliers are calculated based on the dividend as a percentage of the price, primarily to avoid negative historical pricing, which would eventually occur if the amount of each dividend was subtracted from the entry prices. So as accumulated dividend payments increase over time, the gap between unadjusted and adjusted prices gets wider and wider. So if we are not adjusting your stop loss points for these dividends, the dividends effectively will act as losses. So you will see this when you go to, for example, let me just pull up my Yahoo Finance. Wrong one. Yahoo Finance, where are you? All right, let me just type it in. There we go. So when you look up a ticker here, let's just go with Apple. Oh, there we go. And you can actually see the historical price points. So here's historical data. And these are the price points, right? So you always see the open, the high, the low, and the close, right? We're using the adjusted close prices to plot our charts. And that's considering any dividends, right? See, these are the dividends that you can see and how it adjusts for that. All right, let's hop back here to the site. Where are we at? We're at the system alerts now. Okay. you're going to see several system alerts here that you can set up for your portfolios, your watch lists, your newsletters, and your basket positions, even for the Billionaires Club. A lot of folks have questions about the baskets. What's a basket? What's the difference between a basket and a portfolio? It's kind of confusing, I know. But a basket is really a collection of securities that you track according to various investment categories. So for example, let me go here to this secondary tab here. I'm going to go more, and then, so from your more drop-down menu, you can go to your baskets. And then you'll see your baskets that you've created. And then these are the TradeSmith baskets. And the TradeSmith baskets may vary according to your subscription. Okay. So, I don't even know what some of these are. But for example, we have here a TradeSmith commodity stocks basket. So it contains, as the name implies, commodity stocks that you may want to follow. You can click on this and you can review the different commodity stocks, right? You have some limited information on these stocks here. We can go back here. Another one, we have money movers up and down. This is a basket available to money movers by TradeSmith, and it includes a collection of stocks that are moving up or down according to smart money, right? Where institutional and insider buying and selling moves the markets. These are the big whales, right? So you can see that TradeSmith provides several baskets according to your investment interest. Yours and the TradeSmith baskets are again, here on the drop-down menu, more drop-down menu, and baskets. The baskets can also be incorporated among your various tools and features, and they're going to help you find investments opportunities according to what you're looking for. Your synchronized, or your portfolios, both synchronized and manual, are a little bit different. Okay, so a basket is essentially a watch list. However, a watch list portfolio and a basket watch list function differently in TradeSmith Finance. A portfolio, like we've seen here, when we go to my portfolios, I click on a portfolio, whether it's synchronized or manual, I can track these positions over time, right? I can see the value, the gains, my daily gains and losses, and the cash. I can also include many different position views, indicators, different position details, gains information, fundamentals, etc., to help me track these positions over time. So I have access to all of this general and statistical data. I can also assign alerts. I can assign alerts to each individual position, right? I have numerous alerts that I can assign along with the system alerts. With the baskets, I have limited information on tracking these positions. So I can click on the basket. At the top, I can see how many tickers, the health distribution, the trend allocation, and I can review whatever information is contained within this page. Let me scroll down here. I'm not seeing this bar, right? I can see the information that is contained within this page. I can see the sector it belongs to, the price range, 52-week price range, daily change, latest close, VQ, and health. But the intent is not really to track these positions long-term, right? They're just a collection of securities that I want to follow for investment ideas. My portfolios are going to be what I'm going to follow to track long-term, my investments. All right, any questions on that? Speaking of baskets, is there a way to make it available on iOS app? Oh, it's not on the app. I'll have to check. I'm not sure about that, James. I don't have my cell phone on me now to check. Let me make a note. And James and baskets. Baskets for mobile app. Yeah, all of the functionality is that you have on the website when you log on through a computer is not 100% on the app. So I'll have to inquire about that for you, James. Great question. I think I missed one up here. Harold, are the alerts supposed to show in my daily emails, or do I have to go to TradeSmith portfolio to find? I'm not sure which alerts you're referring to. There are some daily notifications that we reviewed here. These would be some daily notifications under either system notifications or additionals. With the alerts, our alerts are based on latest close prices. So between 6 and 8 p.m., we update the site, and then you'd be getting the alerts anywhere between 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern if an alert is triggered. And I'm going to show you in just a moment how you can group your alerts. All right. Nick, is the newsletters option the same as My Gurus? Well, you can go to My Gurus to access your newsletters. And there's several tabs. You may have access to several tabs below, just depending on your subscription. But you would go to My Gurus to access your newsletters. Should be that first tab. All right, Patrick, hit me up with that question on the options screener on the basket when we get to the Q&A, all right? Don't let me forget. All right, let's go back here. We've got to review the system alerts, folks. So here at the top is our entry signal. Remember, the entry signal. So that is the green E bubble that you see on the chart. You must enable the entry signal for your watch-only portfolios if you want to be alerted when a closed position triggers a new health indicator entry signal or goes from red to green. It applies to that re-entry feature. So if you recall when we were under positions, right here under closed positions, re-entry for synchronized portfolio, if this is set to yes, then you're telling TradeSmith, create a portfolio, call it the re-entry watch list, and I want you to add any closed position in there for me. Thank you very much. Now, I have to come here to System Alerts, and if I have this checked, now I'm telling TradeSmith, okay, I want you to alert me when any of those positions in the re-entry watch list or any watch list portfolio I create trigger a green light. All right, so make sure you have that set. The early entry signal, that's that orange E bubble that you see on the chart. It's an aggressive entry into a position that's still in the red zone. Think of this like a preemptive strike. So, I don't typically use this. Some of our folks like to get in ahead of the entry signal. Keep in mind, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get in at a lower price point. Sometimes it works out that way, but sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to stick with the health indicator because it is going to be the more conservative approach. And with the health indicator, you can check each of the states: green, yellow zone up, side, down, red zone, right? So you want to make sure you have that all checked for your investments. Super important right there. I don't have it set for, all of the watch only because it's just too much information. And I'm not sure why I have that one there either. So unless you have a specific, watch only portfolio that you must receive these alerts on, then, I would keep this open because I don't want to get that many emails either. But unfortunately, it's not, it's the same as with our notifications. It's an all or nothing. So I can't pick and choose which investment portfolios or which watch only portfolios get these alerts. That might be a good feature request. Heads up, anyone who wants to spearhead that project. The more people that request it, the more it's likely to happen. So, all right. So the next one is one of my favorites. It's the new high profit alert. It tells us that we're making money. I love this alert. Now, you may not love this alert if you're selling short a position, because that means that you're not making money as you want prices to move lower. But just keep that in mind. We don't have a new low profit alert for anyone that's shorting positions. The stock rating updates, that pertains to ratings by TradeSmith, and that provides an overall stock rating, whether the stock is bullish, very bullish, neutral, bearish, or very bearish, according to the TradeSmith indicators and other fundamental and technical indicators. And someone mentioned the TradeSmith business score that is now available. It was the quality factors. They changed the name. And we'll take a look at that if somebody reminds me here when we get to the Q&A. Then we have our company events, Form 8K. This will announce any significant or relevant events like bankruptcy. I think we want to know that, especially if that's a stock we own, right? And then here we go under alerts consolidation. So I can't remember who it was that asked me about this, but under alerts consolidation, you can select how you're going to group your alert notifications. With a single report, that is going to send all the alerts in one email. So if you're concerned about getting too many emails, you probably want to set it here. Grouped reports will send alerts from our data provider after each delivery of closing prices. So you can receive alerts based on closing prices for each region. This might be good for anyone that's investing in foreign stocks. And then you have the individual notifications. And if I change that there, you're going to get like a warning, right? You're going to get bombarded with emails. So I don't think you want an alert for every single position. That might throw us into your spam mail too. So I usually keep it to single report there. And then you have alert volume below. You can control the number of consecutive alert emails that you receive in the event that an alert is triggered. If you, have a hard time keeping up with all these emails, maybe you set it up to 2. And then if you missed it the first day, you'll get it the next day. It's up to you. And then here under remove triggered alerts, TradeSmith can automatically delete an alert that is triggered for the first time. I have this to no. It's that way by default. I don't know about you, but I don't want anyone deleting my alerts. And let me come here to the Q&A. Phyllis, does sector have to be entered manually? I'm not sure what we're referring to now. So please clarify that for me. Patrick, alerts. Yes, they come in a separate email as notifications do come in through its own email. Okay. And Sachi, does everyone have entry signal listed on the system alerts? Well, you have to have access to our health indicator, because this is part of our health indicator. So Sachi, what program do you have access to, or what's your subscription level? Remember, you can go to your subscriptions page here. You can go to subscriptions and see what you have access to. If you have at least a TradeStops Plus account, you should be able to see the entry signal alerts right here and the health indicator. All right, next up is tags. Nothing too exciting here with tags. Here you can create your tags ahead of time. You can also add your tags to your position, so you don't have to come here to create your tags. but it may simplify the process. I don't know why I have 2VQ twice there, but okay. You can create your tags ahead of time, and then when you go to add your tags via the bulk edit feature, then it's already there. So these are like a list that pop up for you. So you would type in your tag here, add it, and then it's added here to the bottom. Then I can go to, let me make sure I save this. There we go. Here at the bottom, we'll hit save. Then if I go to my portfolios, we'll open up our investment portfolio. And I can just, I'm just going to randomly select some positions here. I'll go to bulk edit here at the bottom. And then I can tag these positions. So if I click within the tags, you're going to see your list of tags. These are the tags that I created in my settings. But you don't have to create them in your settings. Like I said, you can manually type in the tags here as well. All right. One more thing to cover, and then we are done. Let's go back to our settings. And that's support. So here's just another view where you can access our contact information, our toll-free number. There's our local number. Here's our email. And if you have any technical issues and you need someone from our team to access your account, you can give them access. You can hit this change link right here. And then you would tell the program how much time you're going to give our team access to your account to troubleshoot. And the timer starts when you hit save, folks. All right. I think that is going to be a wrap on today's lesson. Let's just do a quick recap and then we'll jump to some Q&A. Today, we reviewed your program settings, right? You can access them from your name drop-down menu and go to settings. They are vital to making TradeSmith your own and establishing your entry and exit alerts. The health indicator, among other system alerts, right, is a global alert that you can assign across your portfolios, baskets, newsletters, and your Billionaires Club if you have access to the Billionaires Club. You can enable the automatic alert creation feature if you want TradeSmith to automatically create alerts for your stocks and options. If I'm just following the health indicator, I may decide to toggle that to no and hit save. Then again, if you want to add multiple alerts, you can do that as well. Again, to be notified on when a stock goes from red to green, you must have the entry signal enabled for your watch onlys. That's this one right here, entry signal. And if you want TradeSmith to update your cost basis for synchronized positions, make sure that this feature is toggled to yes. Those are some key features I want you to make sure you take a look at. Let me pull up the PowerPoint slide. One moment. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact our dedicated customer success team. On Monday, March 13, Kristen Magenst, your product education specialist, will host a live discussion on the search for ticker feature. Please join Kristen as she shows you how this feature can help you research new potential trades. She'll review the informational tabs and the chart for any given security. The analyzer page will also help you determine your exit strategy before entering the position. This lesson applies to all TradeSmith products. However, the informational tabs, the access for some of these tabs may vary depending on your subscription. I'm not going to be hosting an intermediate bootcamp on March 14 as I will be on vacation. Please feel free to register for Kristen's webinar. Even if you can't make it, we'll send you the webinar recording if you register to attend. Thanks again for joining us and letting us be a part of your educational journey. Until next time, bye. Alrighty, folks, back with you. I hope I covered most of the questions. I like that thumbs up. Yep, yep, yep. Let me hop back to the site here. And of course, let me make sure that we are all seeing my screen. Yes, I'm going to learn that lesson one way or another. All right. Let's see what we got. Sachi, the entry signal does depend on your subscription level, right? So as long as you have access to the health indicator, which I believe most of us here will have access to. I don't know if do we have anyone here that's a TradeStop's basic member? Those are the only folks that won't have access to the health indicator. And it may depend on it may depend on what type of subscription you have too. We'll have to dig into that. All right. Let me just take a look here. I think I'm going to go back here. I may have missed some questions. All right. Sachi, you just have Copilot. I would have to see what a Copilot member would have access to. You may not, now that I think of it. Here, let me log out. Let me just log in as a Copilot member. Copilot by TradeSmith. All right, so this is just Copilot for Sachi. I can go to my settings and alerts and see this is what you would have access to, because you're not tracked, you don't have access to the underlying asset alerts. Like you can't set up alerts for stocks, so you wouldn't have access to that, Sachi. All right, let me go ahead, log out. I'll go back into my test. Okay. Terutaka, hopefully I didn't butcher your name. Teru, call you Teru for now. Not quite sure how tags work. Could you explain? My apologies. Yes. So I'm talking about tags as if you know what tags are. Let's go back to tags. So tagging is a way to categorize your positions. So if I'm going through all of my portfolios, my investment portfolios, for example, let's say I've got 3 or 4 investment portfolios, and I've got about 10 to 20 positions in each portfolio. And I want to be able to review everything. So maybe I'm looking at almost 100 positions, and I want to say, okay, I just want to look at my gold positions or my positions that are tagged based on a certain sector or newsletter. Maybe I have certain positions that I'm tracking for the grandkids. You know, you can set up your own categories, and then you can be able to search for them. So if I go to my portfolios, investment portfolio, and I can tag based on this. So let me see what I can tag here. What do I have open? I'm just going to do one example here because I don't want to go through all of these, but here's Tesla. I can tag it bulk and then tag it information technology. And I can do that with all of the stocks that are information technology. I can hit save. And then, you know, I can come here to search page. And then if I just start typing in my tag, it'll pull up any position that's tagged information technology. I can do that with any single tag that I choose. All right, I hope that makes better sense. Apologize, I was not clear, Teru, on that. Rakesh I just signed up. Is there a newbie intro session? Yes. So please check out, there's Getting Started with TradeSmith right here. There's a welcome video, the TradeSmith fundamentals. And then what I'd like you to do, Rakesh, once you do that, is go through the beginner level boot camps. So these are all Kristen's boot camps. She has an orientation, and then these are set up in a certain order to kind of help you get started. Then it guides you through creating your portfolios. So this would be either importing your brokerage accounts or creating manual portfolios, understanding our green, yellow, red light system right here, how to add and manage your alerts. So she goes through these beginner lessons through the beginner bootcamp. So hopefully you can go through these, Rakesh. All right. Miran, Marina, if you have time, can you please show us the TradeSmith Business Quality Score functionality? Yes, I can. Do you have a particular ticker in mind? Let me know if you have a particular ticker in mind and we can search for it. Teru, you may please call me Terry. All right, I will. Another question, please. Where can we see the menu of subscriptions and descriptions of what they contain? That's a good question. I'm going to actually go to tradesmith.com. And here, I don't know if we have all of them listed, but here's products. At the top menu, go to products. And then you're going to see these are the free e-letters at the top that everyone gets. These are the various software tools, right? We have Trade Stops. This is our flagship product, our stock tracking and alerting program. Ideas by TradeSmith. If you want to get market analysis and find opportunities. Trade 360 is a bundle of both trade stops and ideas. Then you have our timing product, which is looking at time cycle analysis to predict current tops and bottoms so that you can better time your entries and exits. Ratings by TradeSmith is our overall stock rating system according to fundamental and technical indicators and so forth. So you can kind of go through here. These are trading tools. So here's our options, Copilot, infinite income loop, money movers. This is, you know, analyzing smart money indicators to see where big money is moving. And then we also have some crypto research and software income generation. So we also have several gurus that you can follow for options and so forth. So just take a look at all this that we have here. Just go to tradesmith.com and then review products. All right. So we got the skinny Miron. We're going to go with Amazon. Okay. Let's go with Amazon. AMZN. Or which one are we doing? We're doing NASDAQ Amazon, right? Or are we doing this one right up here? I'll go to NASDAQ since I think that might have been a typo. Let's just look at this and then hang tight with questions for just a moment. So with the, and we're not going to go into a full-on lesson. I do have a 1-hour lesson on ratings by TradeSmith if you want to check it out from my intermediate boot camps. So we can come in here and review the overall, right? So it gets a score bullish 36. I can come to detailed overview. And then I can review all of this information here. I have the stock rating, the rating allocation bar graph or pie graph. I can review the stock rating over time. So a year ago, I can see what it was a year ago. I can come down here and review the different technical and fundamental indicators that provide the score, the overall score. And then what you wanted to take a look at was the business quality score. So this is looking at really the balance sheets, right, of the company. And the score is not too good, right? So let me pull up, I've got a little cheat sheet and pictures. Where is it? There it is. It gives kind of a breakdown of the levels. And then let me pull up my guide here for stock rating in case you have any specific questions. Okay, where did it go? Did that image come up yet? Nope. Right, let me pull it back up here. 1 second. Okay, here we go. So Miran, here we go. So just pay attention to what you see on the left. Here's the, no, I'm sorry, on the right. I'm confusing myself. The quality factor score. So anything with 60 to the 80 range is above average quality. This is obviously what we want ideally for fundamentals, right? 80 to 100, that's high quality. Amazon falls under average quality right now. So that's average quality for Amazon. And these are the different factors that it's looking at: growth, payout, profitability, and safety. So we got neutral on profitability and growth, bearish on payout, and safety is pretty good right there with strong bullish. Any specific questions that you had regarding the business quality score, Miran, let me know. We can go through these. The script that I had for the presentation goes over the different quality factors or business quality scores now. So if you have any specific questions, let me know. Let me kind of catch up here. Janet, we should be able to click on the score and get your cheat sheet. Yeah, that you're talking about my image. I have it on the it's on the script for that particular lesson. I put the range on there, but it's not I think what we're going to do is add some more information on this site itself, like maybe put like an informational bubble where you can click to review, oh, what is growth? What is payout? And so forth. And then kind of give a little bit more information or context so you're not searching. But out of 100, it gets a 50, which is neutral or average for quality factor. Tom, sorry to backtrack, but once you've tagged certain positions, how do you view that grouping? Well, you would just go to, let me duplicate this tab just in case we want to keep it open for a moment. You're going to go to My Portfolios. You're going to open up your portfolio within the Manage tab. And I do apologize if I'm going a little bit faster. I'm used to the intermediate lessons. So I have to keep in mind, this is a beginner lesson. Slow it down. But here at the very top right, you'll see search this page. So if you have the tags already created, or if you have already tagged your positions, you can then search for it here. Now, one thing, you have to make sure under your position views, open up your position view that you're using and make sure that tags is enabled right here. Okay, make sure tags is enabled, or else you won't be able to search by tags. Got it, Tom? Make sure that that is checked, or else no amount of tagging positions, you'll be able to sort through them because you have to have this checked. Good. Awesome. I like that little thumb feature. That's pretty cool. That makes it super easy. All right. Ron wanted to say you received your Copilot report today for the first time. Amazing. Thanks. That's awesome. Great. I'm glad you're happy. Yes, I agree, Janet. All of this information should be on the site. Our development team is working on that. So we have plans to include descriptions of each of the business quality scores and some information so you're not trying to figure out what this is. What is BQS? It's just business quality. It's just the acronym Business Quality Score 50. It's breakdown from 0 to 100 score range. And it gets a 50 according to the range background. It falls under average quality. So from 0 to 100, it has an average quality score. Miran, thank you. Let me ask you again, do we need to upgrade our subscription from Plus? To be able to see ratings? Yes. If you are just, are you TradeStops Plus and you are looking at ratings? Then yes, you would want to upgrade if you want ratings. All right, very good. Just contact our sales team and just tell them that Marina sent you and that you better give them, that they better give you a good deal, Miran, for that ratings. Or else I'm going to come knocking on their door. Tell them that I talked to you about it on a webinar and that they would give you a good deal. Philip, I'm trying to find a bootcamp video for ideas by TradeSmith. I see articles for timing and money movers. Yes, there is a video for ideas, and I'm so glad you asked. Philip, we'll go to help, and then we'll go to intermediate. So you're going to go to the intermediate lessons. And here's TradeSmith opportunities. There's ideas lab. And then both of these go hand in hand. So the first part of ideas by TradeSmith is assessing the health of the markets. And then if you want to find some opportunities, you can check this out. All right. Okay. Enjoy a well-deserved vacation. You will be missed. Thank you, Kay. I appreciate it. It's been a while since I took some time off. And I feel guilty too. I feel guilty for taking time off. Sometimes I work on the weekends too. I've become a little workaholic and I've got to stop that. James, can you do a search on BQS? Is that a ticker? Or are you talking about the business quality score? I'm not sure what you're asking, James. Let me know if you can clarify. They changed the name of let's look at Apple. They changed the name of the quality factor. They're calling it business quality score. So I can come to detailed overview of any particular security, and then I can see the business score. Now, Apple scores pretty high on the balance sheets right there. Look at it, it's a 98 out of 100. So I think overall it's a strong bullish right there. Check it out. I've asked Mike Bernick, our senior analyst, to do a upcoming lesson. It's going to be one of the platinum webinars. We're going to host that, I think sometime in April. We're going to go through the business quality score. But I usually put together special guest passes too. So if you're not a platinum member and you're interested in ratings, I'll let you attend to that so that you can learn some more. Any other questions, folks? James, Biz quality score. Yes, that's right. It's the Biz quality score. IBM has the same score. Okay. Does it? Let's see. IBM. Let's check it out, James. Overall, it's got it's strong bullish too. A little stronger there on the score, but overall, yeah, 98. Very good. Manual portfolio instructions. Yes. So, Jim, to manually create a portfolio, we're going to go to My Portfolios at the top navigational header. Make sure that you're on the Manage tab. And then you'll hit Add Portfolio below. Then you'll have three options. This is where you link your broker. You can set it up manually, or you can upload a CSV file. So if you have an Excel sheet of positions that you'd like to upload, you can do it that way. But if we click Add Manually, we would type in the name of our portfolio, whatever you want to call it, whether it's a watch list or whether it's an actual investment portfolio, right? You can title it the name of the broker or what type of investment, however you want to name it. I'll move this onto watch only because I want to keep things organized. Then, I have portfolio settings that I can also adjust. So I can change my currency in which I view my portfolio values. I can set up entry and exit commissions if I wanted to. I can put in some cash. So if this potential watch list portfolio has got, 25,000 that I'm going to play around with, I can do that. I can put some notes in here, whatever I want to do here to track this account. And then I start adding my positions. IBM, I select it from the drop-down menu. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can just start adding the tickers first, which is kind of like what I like to do here. I'm just randomly picking. I don't even know. But then once you add all your positions, you can hop here to the buy date. You'll see this little calendar pops up. You can scroll through the calendar, or you can just type in the date. So 2 digits for the month, / 2 digits for the day, / and the 4 digits for the year. And then it'll automatically put in the latest close price for that date. And then you can put a quantity. If it's just a watch list, you don't need to put anything in there. If you don't put anything in there, it'll just keep it at 0. Position type, it's long or short. And then we can save the portfolio. And then once you hit save, it prompts you to add in the alerts, which you can, or you can do it later. So you don't have to do it now. You just want to create this portfolio. All right. Does that answer your question, Jim? Let me know if you need me to cover anything else. Sachi, thank you. I need to hop off now. Have a wonderful day. Sachi, thank you for joining us. We'll be closing here momentarily. I cannot see BQS after searching IBM. Is this because I'm not a platinum member? Well, you have to have access to ratings by TradeSmith, Terry. So when you go to your settings, what subscription level do you have? You either have to have ratings by TradeSmith or be a platinum member to see it. Daniel, thank you for joining. I will tell Kristen that we wish her well. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Patrick, multiple inputs for your example of IBM in a portfolio. Patrick, I'm not sure what you want me to, multiple inputs. Oh, like if you have multiple purchase lots of IBM? Well, if you're synchronized, what we're going to do is update the total number of shares. and your cost basis, if you have that feature set up within the settings, remember, if you're tracking manually, you can add each IBM purchase lot. So I can come in here and I can add another purchase lot of IBM. I can put in my date and my quantity. So I'm purchasing an additional 25 shares and then hit save and close. And then I'm tracking multiple purchase lots. Or I can just manually update my cost basis with the average prices paid for that position and total up my shares. It's up to you how you want to track that. In a synchronized portfolio, you can't set it up this way. It will pull in as one position with the total number of shares and updated cost basis. All right, Phyllis, have a great, thank you very much. Appreciate your kind words. All right. Jim, if I set up manually and make investment, will the portfolio be synchronized? No. So if you're set up manually, if it says M on each position, it is not linked to your broker. So if I go to manage, okay, even though I created this test investment portfolio, right? The type is manual. It's not linked anywhere. There's no link to the broker, so there's no way for it to be updated. You have to synchronize your brokerage account if you want it linked. So when we go to add portfolio, I can hit link to broker. And then I can continue. We use Yodlee Fast Link. It's safe and secure. It's bank level encryption. Then you can come in here and select your brokerage account. And then you'd go through the process of entering in the user and password for whichever broker you have selected. And then you hit submit. It's a fairly simple process, doesn't take too much time. All right. All right, folks, that is a wrap, a final wrap. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope that you all have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you when I return. If I missed any questions, please feel free to shoot us an email. You can put it to my attention. Philip, ciao, Marine. Enjoy the vacay and save those brain cells. Matcha tea. Semper Fi. Thank you so much. All right, folks, have a great one. Take care. Bye.